Welcome back to the Auto Insider. This week, we're reviewing this 2023 Nissan Versa. Those of you who follow me on social media probably have heard me talking about the first car for my teenage daughter. She'll be driving at the end of this year. My wife and I have been looking at everything from sedans, coupes, to subcompact SUVs. So of course, when we got this Versa in the driveway, I immediately turned on my parent radar and not my Auto Insider radar to see just how this Versa might work for her high school lifestyle. Some of you may be thinking, Daryl, it's a brand new car. And I have also started to question myself about considering a brand new vehicle for my teenage daughter. But here are the reasons why I'm thinking about it and why you may want to think about it as well. What we know is safety, passive safety features in these vehicles are ever evolving. I'm seeing the cars get safer and safer, a lot more assistance without the driver input. This vehicle has it all. Lane departure warning, lane keep assist, emergency braking, rear cross traffic alert, anti-lock brakes, pre-tensions on the seatbelt, hands-free text messaging, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. All these things that make it a little bit easier for young drivers to stay focused on the road and not their smartphones. But on the outside chance, which is probably likely if you know most teenagers, they will use their phone at some point. They'll reach down, sometimes they just can't fight the urge. And when those times come, it's always nice to know that there are some embedded passive safety features on a vehicle like this Versa that'll help protect them and prevent those impending accidents. Another reason you may consider a 2023 Nissan Versa for your first-time driver or teen, or maybe you're a teen going off to college, is the price tag. When I think about all the things we get here, like wireless phone charging, the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, touchscreen infotainment system, all the safety features, power windows, power door locks, all for a price tag of $22,000. When we think about that and what we're going to be purchasing for a young person, this is about half the price of the average vehicle on the road today. So when you're considering a pre-owned vehicle versus a new vehicle for your first-time driver or teen going off to college, you may want to consider just how affordable a monthly payment might be on $22,000. And conversely, if you were looking at a pre-owned vehicle, it's likely you'll get a much higher interest rate than on a brand new vehicle. Hence, any savings you get on the price of the vehicle, you'll make up in interest payments long term. Now, that's for those of you who, like me, haven't saved enough cash to buy your teen's first car. It didn't take me long to uncover this next advantage for the Nissan Versa. You see all those TV commercials of young people blocking traffic, doing stunts and street racing? Well, you won't have to worry about that in this Versa. It's not gonna win any races. And in fact, it can have your kid last all the time. So even though this vehicle is not going to be any sports-minded vehicle that any young person is going to want to have for who is sports-minded, it does have the SR package, which gives you the upgraded 17-inch wheels, and it looks a lot sportier than the standard Versa. It even comes with a color-matched rear spoiler. And those of you who follow me as well know I'm not a big fan of these CVT transmissions. We have a 1.4-cylinder engine in this Versa, and it's made it to a CVT transmission. But Nissan has been doing this for a while, so it doesn't feel quite as lethargic as they used to, but I'm still no fan of it. This would be a real home run for me if it had a standard automatic transmission, or if it were available in a manual transmission. Can you imagine teaching your young person how to drive a manual transmission these days? And for those of you who are still not ready to invest in an electric or an electrified vehicle, this Versa fits in for you if you still are a proponent of great fuel economy. You get 32 miles per gallon in the city, 40 miles per gallon on the highway for a combined 35 miles per gallon. All of that with a normally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. No plug-in hybrid, no battery electric, no electric motors, all internal combustion engine. Isn't that what you've been asking for? And there's enough room for your teen and 4 of their friends. I don't know if that's good or bad. But the headroom and legroom in that second row is decent for a vehicle of this size. And this vehicle is a perfect size to manage parking decks, college campuses, and the inner city roads here in Atlanta. And here's yet another advantage to having a small car like the Nissan Versa. When your building has spaces this small, it's nice to know that you can fit in any one of those spaces. Typical in Nissan, the ride quality feels very solid and secure, a vehicle you think you could count on for many years. It's smooth, quiet, not a lot of wind noise, and it does pretty much what you ask it to do. I will remind you though, this, just because it has its SR badge, does not make it a sports sedan by any measure, but it is a good looking vehicle. Well, that is, if you like this Smurf blue. So despite the fact that you're not gonna be the first one taking off at the traffic light every time, once this Versa is rolling, it is very composed, well-mannered, and there's a pretty low threshold for noise. Unless you're under full acceleration, this is a really pleasant vehicle to drive. So a young person would be thrilled, or should be thrilled, to be able to have a vehicle like this as a first car. To wrap it all up, this is an affordable sedan, one that has a sporty look to it, but not all of that horsepower that's likely to have your team in trouble on Friday night for any kind of street stunts or street racing. It gets great fuel economy, a combined 35 miles per gallon, 32 in the city, 40 on the highway, wireless phone charger, USB charging ports in here for them and their friends, all the safety you need, and a price tag at $22,000. Now, when we think about a vehicle at a $22,000 price range, it's really hard for me to call this vehicle hot. But if you're looking for a sedan that'll carry your team straight through college and on to their first job, this one may be hot for your family budget. Till next week, I'm Daryl Killian for the Auto Insider.